Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy King Mal, also known as Malcolm. I'm with my co-host
Quan,
and we're with Angie. Before we introduce her, this podcast is set up for those individuals that are in the 99% that want to get to that 1%. But Quan, listen to me, man. The only way to get there is actually being different and making a difference.
Correct.
And we're with someone that's making a difference in day to day. Angie with Finish Well. Talk to us.
What's going on, guys? Angela with Finish Well Housing, Finish Well Cleaning, building the brand Finish Well. No matter how you start, finish well. You got it right. I'm proud of you.
Yes. Caught that T. Is that what they say? So, Angela, no. But let's talk about you for a second. Like, your company's doing amazing. I love the Finish Well. I love how you have it set up, because now that shows that at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you got to get to the finish line. You got to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your companies, the transition housing, the cleaning companies. What opened the door, or what gave you the idea to get to that point or to do these businesses?
Okay, so Finish Well Housing is a transition house in Brandon for women in reentry, sober living, recovery, homeless. I'll take them all. A woman in need who wants to make a change in their life. We built the platform for them to have a house. Okay. In order to have stability, you need somewhere to live.
Correct.
So it started with me being released from prison. When I was released from prison, I was sleeping on a couch, living out of a bag. I know I don't look like it, thank God. Praise God.
Yes.
However, I slept on a friend's couch, living out of a bag, and I knew that God had something bigger. But I also knew I wasn't the only one doing this, right? You get out of prison, you have nowhere to go, family gives up on you, friends left you a long time ago.
Yeah.
What is it that I need to do so that I can pave a platform for somebody else?
Correct.
So they do not have to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
So that is how Finish Well Housing started.
Wow. I love it. So being someone that was in those shoes, how can I say it? How can you, like, what inspiration could you give that person that's going through it that may not or cannot find a housing that's not in Brandon or Tampa? Like, what can you say to them? Because you experienced it. What can you tell them?
Well, I'm going to be honest. There's no excuses. I take none, which is why my house is successful, right? Because if I did it, I had 30 days and I was going to be homeless. When my friend moved back to Jacksonville, I'm not from Tampa. So I moved here with my friend. I was going to be homeless. I had a job, no car. Nobody wanted to take me because I was a felon with serious charges. So the first thing I tell them when they call, reach out, or I speak to them even while they're in prison, there's no excuses, right? As soon as you start making excuses, you're staying in the same situation that you were in.
Right.
You're not going to move forward. So that's the first thing. No excuses. The second thing is that there are resources. They're not going to come knock on your door, right? So we all want them to knock on our door and say, hey, I have somewhere for you to live. That's not realistic.
Yeah.
So you have to get out there and look for what is available for you. Half the things that I am able to provide for my ladies, I only knew existed because I searched for it, right? I knocked on doors. I went to Tampa Bay Academy of Hope. I went to Echo. What can I do? Where can I go? So you have to get out and get it. There's no other way.
Man, Quan, what are your thoughts?
I mean,
I feel like we can cut the podcast now.
I know, right? She just gave so much knowledge, but I mean, definitely, I know there's a big need for nonprofits in this space because, the homeless rate is insane. And then when you consider, like she mentioned, I don't think a lot of people call it the re-entry side of it is even worse. You know what I mean? Because now you're not only dealing with people that don't have the resources, like you said, but you're also dealing with the fact that they're homeless. They have a felon, or maybe they made a mistake back in their past, and now they're still paying for it, even though quote unquote they paid their debt to society. So I commend you on the work you do. It's phenomenal.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. You have to have the passion to do it.
Yeah.
It's not something. If you're going in for money, you're wrong off rip.
Right.
Because the moment you're not getting the money, you're going to give up, right? And so I've already had a success rate with women, right? So a lot of my women, they're doing things that they never thought they could do. Construction. They never thought that. They
Right.
were selling drugs or with the wrong men. They're in construction. You know, I get what FTOT, get them resumes, get them set out, get it done.
Yeah.
One of my girls is a GM. She's getting her own store in Gainesville. She never thought she could do that. She never worked. She depended on a man her whole life.
Right.
So it is possible. Reentry is a big thing. So May 13th of this year, I hit my 3 years of being home.
Congrats.
Big.
Congrats. Amazing.
So that means I beat the recidivism rate,
Yeah.
right? So recidivism, they say within 3 years of you being released, you will return back into the prison.
Right.
Once you beat that, I know for me, it was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And it gave me even more motivation that I didn't think I can get any more. But it did. It was like, okay, I beat what the system said would happen.
Yeah.
So getting the girls to see that and also maintain the lifestyle where they can also hit that mark and see recidivism because it's at all-time high.
Yeah.
It's at an all-time high. You have nowhere to go. You have no money. You do the same things you did to go back to prison.
Right. Right. Because you're fighting for survival at that point.
Survival mode.
Get you. I get you. So, I mean, for the ladies out there, right? Because I think one thing we want to do on the podcast, we got a lot of fellas that come on, but I like to bring women on as well because I think you provide a different dynamic that most people don't get to see, right? You're dealing with these at-risk women and really providing a service that's needed. So if someone was looking to get into, this nonprofit space, right? Because we're a financial literacy podcast, we want to talk about that business aspect. What's three steps, the first 3 steps you would recommend them doing if they were looking to open up a house or, be of service to
One
these
would be
women?
research. People want to get in business. They're like, okay, I can get an LLC. It's $200, $175. They got an LLC. They don't know how to even set up the LLC properly. So then next year, the LLC is not even active, right? They didn't file properly. So you need to research. I'm still researching, right? I need grants. I need funding. We all do.
Right.
So it's an everyday research. The second thing that I would say is get in your community before you even start a nonprofit. So that's what I did. Before I can start a nonprofit, to be honest, the transition house is not what I was going towards. It was a youth program.
Okay.
So I was 19 when I got locked up. It was starting a youth program, but that's not what God had. And I seen it through me doing work in the community. Once I'm doing all this work in the community, it's easier to navigate when you're always at an event, always doing work in the community, seeing the homeless, you're seeing whatever your passion is, right? If it's youth, are you going to the jail to try to talk to the youth?
Right.
If you're not, then you're not going to have that connect, right? When they're coming home, you want them to call you. I did that. First move, I went to the jail. Hey, this is what's going on. Walked right into the reentry of the jail. Shout out to Miss Tiffany because she's one of my greatest supporters. She does reentry.
Wow.
Now I'm connected in the jails. When they have people coming home, they call me, and so I would say really put your footwork in the community before starting a nonprofit because the community is what supports your nonprofit.
Okay.
And then I would just say, tie your shoelaces tight and get ready to run because a nonprofit is way different than running. I have an LLC as well, running a regular business. Right. It's a completely different field. When I say blood, sweat, and tears, you got to get ready for that. You have to get ready for all the no's. Lots of no's before you get the yes,
Yeah.
You might see people, they've got $100,000 grant. How long have they been doing this?
Right.
10 years, and they finally got it. Think about how much they put in to get just $100,000. Sounds like a lot, but they've probably put 10 years worth of their own money in. So I would say definitely research. Then I would say get in the community as much as you can. I Google events. I'll show up. I don't know if I'm supposed to be there, but hey, I'm going to look the part and then go from there. And it's worked. I've networked, no matter where your feet are, be there. That's another thing I would say. Like I bartend. That's my paying job. That's what's got most of my donations.
Wow.
So every time I'm there, I have business cards. I'm networking. Right. My manager will tell you she's the #1 network. She's our marketer. I'm having my regulars come in every day. They're paying my bills, but now they're telling people, hey, she has a transition house. Hey, she cleans houses. Be where your feet are. Market yourself. Those are the 3 things that I would say gets it done.
That's amazing.
For sure.
That's amazing.
So I love it that we started off on the high note.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
Bring it
always,
on down.
I'm like, a lot of times when I'm pretty sure all three of us, when we see certain people at a high note, we're like, oh man, but we never understand the backstory of where they came from. Because there's some kid, there's some young lady that's going through hell or that has done something and like, yo, what's up? So who were you before prison and
said
during
it.
prison? Who
Hell.
were you before?
You said it. Hell. There, I can't say it. So before prison, this is something I haven't really talked about. I talk about my dad dying, which was a big part of my story. But before prison, that happened when I got locked up. So what I haven't talked about is being a teen mom, right? Nobody wants to talk about that.
Right.
Your mom brushes it under the rug. Your dad hides it. It's shunned upon. I was 14 and got pregnant. So I'm in high school pregnant.
Yeah.
Embarrassing, right? Self-esteem down, confidence down. I have to go to school still,
Right.
pregnant. So finally, my mom sent me to an all-girls school, pregnant school, Beulah Beale in Jacksonville. That says it all. 15, had my daughter. I'm a teen mom. And I was hell. I was my dad's only child. I was a spoiled brat. I took life for granted. Then I wanted to hang out in the streets and still be a mom and still be a teen and still go to school and live a normal life. But my life was not that, right?
Right.
So I have to be up with a baby all night. And things got tough in my house living with my mom as a teen mom until she put me out. So homeless with a 6-month-old, teen mom, going to school, trying to make it.
Wow.
It was hell. So I turned to all the wrong people, guys, friends, all of the wrong people, which eventually led me to prison. But it was a lot. That was the beginning of the downfall to my life, right? Moving in with my sister, she was in a toxic relationship. I have a little baby there. That's a lot for them to deal with.
Correct. Right.
I think that was the beginning to me understanding how hard life was, right? Again, answering to the wrong people. Then I just got on the wrong crowds. You know, it looked good. It felt good. I thought these people cared about me. They were my ride or dies. You know, everybody wants to be that
Right.
person. Not anymore. Not at all.
Right.
I ain't riding.
All right.
I hear you.
So all right, you gotta go by yourself.
Yeah.
But that was the beginning of my journey. So I was a teen mom, troubled teen. My mom, I grew up in a household where it was me, my sister, and my brother for a long time, but it was 4 kids. We all had different dads. So I seen that, a very broken home. I love my mom. She did what she knew to do, what
Right.
she was taught to do,
Right.
right? What my grandma showed her. She was in foster care. She only could do what she knew to do.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You're taught to live a certain way, and that's the way you go.
Yeah.
So very toxic. My dad lived in New York, so it was a broken home. And although financially he took care of me, he wasn't there physically every day.
Right. And that's just as important.
That was very important. He was my best friend. He was my heart. But again, he was there. I was here. So up until holidays, birthdays, we were separated.
Yeah. Yeah.
So always looking for that male figure in my life. For me, for my daughter.
Yeah.
It was troublesome.
What was it like going? So holidays you will go to where he is. So Jacksonville and New York, I mean, Florida's different than New York. No offense, Quan. We move a little bit different. But what was it like going there for the holidays? And
Was that a low blow to New York though?
no.
I'm from New York, so that's a little
That
jab
was,
at me.
I am too,
Yeah.
originally. So
yeah.
let's back up. I was born in Brooklyn for
Hey.
everybody.
I love that.
Here we go.
So I left Brooklyn
Here we
at
go.
14 because you've been like jabbing. That was a jab.
I was on your side
But
the whole
it's
time.
2. It's 2 here on
And
one.
I'm 3.
All right. 6'7".
Yeah, you see, I like how you
All right,
think.
Lloyd. I got you. I don't want no smoke. No smoke.
But how was it going from Jacksonville back to New York? Like, it's we all jokes aside, it's
Yeah,
No,
different.
it's different.
It's
It's
really
different
different.
dynamic, for
So
sure.
it's really different. So I'll say this. Majority, my dad came to Florida. Now, when I was 13, before I got pregnant, my mom sent me back to New York to live with my dad.
Oh wow.
So I think that's when I started really getting out of control. My dad thought he could do it, right?
Right.
It's my daughter. I was 13. I was fighting all the time. I got expelled from Caballero. It was bad. So there's gangs in New York. That's not really real here.
Right.
You know, they talk about it. It's like their streets or their hoods or South Side versus North Side.
Yeah.
They don't have real gangs, right? They're not doing all that. So in New York, that was a real thing. And I started getting around those people that exposed me to a lifestyle I didn't see in Jacksonville.
Right.
Like, I knew 103rd versus, Southside, but I never seen real gangs. And when I started getting involved with those type of people, my dad put me on a plane immediately and sent me back home.
Get out of here.
So it was a lot of like up and down, in and out. And I seen so much so fast. I haven't had stability until I got released from prison.
Wow.
Even growing up. So going there, him coming here, then my mom sending me back there, my mom moving a lot. She left her ex-husband, then she's with her new husband. I never was stable.
Right.
As much as my mom did to put a roof over our head, food in our mouth, that's not enough.
Right.
And that's not enough. It's just not. And a main reason why, although I'm home and I'm stable and have custody of my kids, my son's 17, I refuse to be that person to take him out of a house where he's been for 13 years. Right. I would be less than, people say, oh, well, you're a mom. I'd be less than of a mom to take him from somewhere he grew up. And so, and I know that because it happened to me. And so very unstable, unstable.
Gotcha. And, I got a couple of homegirls who are entrepreneurs like yourself, want to pivot a little bit. Talk about, you kind of mentioned your family, your mom, which is amazing. I think that's a job in itself. So
them.
I'll give you your flowers for that. How hard is it trying to manage being a mom and then you're a business owner and then you also work as well? Like, how hard is it? Because I don't think people really understand, like, for guys too, it's a lot when you're responsible for children and stuff like that. So
I don't think people talk about it enough.
Yeah.
Especially moms, because they paint the perfect picture. I do not. I cannot.
Right.
I went to prison, right?
Right.
Somebody raised them for 13 years.
Wow.
Right? I can never get that back. Even till this day, it's really hard juggling them all. Sometimes I feel like I'm pouring more into the ladies in my house than my kids. Sometimes I feel like I'm working too much. I need to take off to be with my kids. I just had a rude awakening for Mother's Day. That was the first holiday since I've been home. Me and my kids didn't spend together. And not because we didn't want to. I was off work. My daughter was working a double. And I was like, oh, okay. She's grown. She's 20 now.
Right.
She's working a double. I can't spend the day with my baby. Take off work. And she was like, Mom, I can't. I was like, yes, you can. I wanted her to quit her job. Clean houses. I got you. Go get contracts. You have a business.
Yeah.
Go right now. I got you. It's already ready. Like, go clean houses.
Yeah.
Be your own boss. And just trying to get them to do that for that simple fact. Like, it's tough for me as your mom, but now that my kid has to take time off from somebody else, another boss, it's tough.
Yeah.
And so that's been the toughest thing I've faced since being home is being a mom. They're in Jacksonville still.
Yeah.
My daughter's in Lake City. She has her own place. She's a country girl. She doesn't want to move to Tampa. It's too city for her. And it's still it's a juggle still.
Yeah.
I'm realistic about it, but what I do is my best, right? That's all we can do.
Yeah.
We do our best. And so, Christmas, I took them to Tennessee, got a cabin for a week. They got to experience something they haven't experienced, with their mom for a whole week, carefree. Let's get a cabin, enjoy Christmas. It's not about opening the presents. It wasn't about the tree. It was about memories.
Right.
So that was, and just continuing to create that because tradition is okay.
Yeah.
But what do they have when you leave?
Right.
What do they have when you leave? Right. And I just want to create memories now. But it's tough. It's tough. And sometimes I'm like, am I putting too much into these ladies and not enough into my kids? Where's the balance?
Yeah.
Where do I get the balance?
Right.
But when do I know that it's balanced, right? So it's just really finding the time, making the time. And it doesn't have to be days and days. If it's one day I drive up there and we go to lunch, I'm satisfied, right?
Right.
They're good. Did I pour into them? They poured in. We're good. But it's tough. It was even harder raising them from prison. So I
can
have
only
to be
imagine, yeah.
grateful and step back and remember a time where I couldn't even talk to them or see them,
Yeah.
right? If their providers don't answer the phone, I don't talk to them. So, which I was blessed to see them, but still,
Right.
that was tough. Christmas, I couldn't even see them. So just embracing the moments that we do have
Yeah.
and being grateful for that and not forgetting there was a time where I could not see them.
Yeah. It's amazing.
That was I don't know if you noticed, that was kind of deep when you said there was times that I was raising them from prison.
Yeah.
I think that kind of went over a lot of people's, or may go over a lot of people's heads, but that's serious.
That was serious.
That's serious.
I mean, my son fell down the stairs, busted his head. I couldn't take him to the hospital.
Right.
I'm a mom.
Yeah.
You know, only thing I could do is go get on my bunk, cover up, and cry. That's all I could do. What can you do? You can't do anything.
Yeah.
I can get in trouble and lose what I do have in here now, or I can just do my time, right?
There was a time you did destroy a lot of things,
I did.
but it made, I understand, from listening to your story, I understood the one person that mattered the most in your life was no longer here. And obviously everyone knows my mom is my number one, your father is yours. And I'm pretty sure those CEOs like, oh, hell, like, yeah.
That was tough.
How did you overcome that?
I haven't.
Gotcha.
I haven't.
It's a journey. There's no destination.
So I was in the county when that happened. I sat in the county 3.5 years, so I wasn't even in prison yet. I don't know if that's good or bad. The good thing is the COs knew me for a very long period of time. They knew what he meant to me, and they knew me, right? So sometimes when I acted out, they let me have the moment, right? Not that it's right or wrong. They just they understood.
Right.
They're still my friends. Actually, one of them we still keep in contact.
Wow.
She saved my life while I was in prison, which I've talked about, or in jail, which I talked about.
That's when she put
I wanted
the
to
young
kill
lady
myself.
into the
yeah,
room?
she
Yeah.
put a lady into my cell because I wanted to kill myself and I had no bunkies.
Wow.
So I've never been suicidal through all my trials and tribulations. My being a teen mom, my cousin dying, my grandma dying, watching a car accident right in front of me where my grandma died, and all these things that I faced growing up that I thought was just the worst thing that can happen. I still never was suicidal.
Right.
Up until that point when I got the call to the chapel that my dad was dead. And anybody who's lost somebody, there's no words, right? I'm screaming, I'm crying. It's, going through the process. But after sitting on it, I didn't want to live. I'm facing a life sentence. I'm away from my kids, and now my dad's dead. He's my number one supporter. Like, I cannot get through this without my dad. I can't get through anything.
Yeah.
I couldn't stub my toe without calling him. You want me to get through? I'm facing life. I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't think I could do it. So the only thing that I can say that I overcame it in there, because now I'm revisiting this.
Yeah, processing.
Oh, yeah. Was God. I got in that Bible because I was mad at God. I was like, I believe in you. I'm mad at you. Are you even real?
Right.
You took the one person that is going to be here for me.
Yeah.
You can't be real. You're fake. I'm sitting in jail, facing a life sentence. I'm away from my kids, and now my dad dies. I lost faith. But once I got it back and realized that he had a greater purpose for me, and that was part of my journey, I was able to start accepting it little by little. I fought a lot. I was so angry for many years. It wasn't just a week or two of grief. It was many years. Anytime a situation arose, I knew that was the root. For a long time, people would be like, well, what's wrong with you? And I'd be like, oh, nothing, But there was.
Right.
There was a root. My dad was dead. Like,
Yeah.
now I'm never going to see him. So when they had the funeral, it was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was in New York. And
I didn't even say anything.
but
Look
I
at
know
you.
it's in your head, like, ew, New York. But I was considered a flight risk. All my family was there. I'm from there. If I go, I won't come back. So the judge hated me already. He had you're a troublemaker. You're getting in fights in the county jail, which I want to say does matter. Before you get sentenced, everything you do up until then, they're taking note of, which I didn't know. I was young and dumb.
Right.
They took note of that. So they denied me to go to the funeral. And that's where the anger came from. I couldn't even say my goodbyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Wow. I love New York.
that's all right. Say it until you believe it.
Yeah, we're only gonna say it once. So I don't believe it. No, but so with that, I feel like you said, that builds your character. But then it brought you to this lovely young lady. Like, it built that journey, and where you came
I was
from.
gonna say you did that time with me. That's crazy.
Don't tell nobody. Don't tell
That's
nobody.
crazy.
But where you came from to now, what do you pour into those ladies in your transition houses, or do some of them work with you?
So that's the goal.
Okay.
The goal of starting the cleaning business was to employ them,
Gotcha.
to create wraparound services.
Oh, that's neat.
So eventually that will happen. Right now, loyalty contracting is very important.
Mm-hmm.
They're felons. Yes, I'm a felon, but I've built the loyalty with my customers.
Right.
So getting them to trust more felons,
Right.
it's tricky.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
eventually that is the goal, though. Yes, finish well housing, finish well cleaning, creating a wraparound service so that they have jobs. They know about my dad. I tell them all the time. And just like I tell them, for one, nothing's too big for God. Even losing my dad. Now I can say that. I still have to face going to the grave. I have not been yet. So that's something I have to face.
Right.
So it's an everyday journey, right? Just because I don't have it all together. I'm still every day working towards a goal, and there's something else I need to mark off, and that's one of them. But I tell them, like, nothing's too big for God. And for those that might not believe in God, not everybody's going to believe that. I just tell them, like, I'm a living testimony. I could have been dead.
Right.
Something saved me, whether it was your God, my God, whatever you believe in, whatever it was, it saved my life. Because if that officer had not put somebody in my room, I was going to kill myself. I had blades, I had a way. Like, I was going to die. So I just constantly tell them, like, I'm a living testimony right here. And I think it helps them that it's real and raw. Like, I don't come to them in a business suit, like I got it all together and like I've never been through nothing and I'm better than, and this is what you need to do. No, this is what I've been through. And if you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. Because it happened to me.
Yeah.
Right. I told my friend's daughter today, she's a teen going out in these little shorts to school. And I said, girl, I was a teen mom. And that's how it starts. You know, like, you don't want to do that.
Right.
You're going to the dance. You're not going to make it there. You know, like, you're not. I didn't make it to prom. I didn't make it to none of that. So just letting them know that, like, there is a process, and whatever your process is, it might look different from somebody else's, but that's okay. So when you said that, my dad dying did make me into the woman I am, because now I just want to make him proud. If he was standing in front of me, would you be proud?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm not fighting. I'm not doing anything. I don't smoke weed. I'm not doing this. I'm not out hanging out. I'm doing exactly what I know I'm supposed to be doing.
Changing lives.
That's it. And if I just touch one life, I'm good. I've done it. I'm good. I'm going to keep going, but I've done it.
Yeah.
Like, my time was not done in vain.
Right.
So that's really the goal.
That's amazing. One thing you kind of dropped a nugget. I don't think people caught it, but you mentioned, and I think this is really big for people, you know, women and men in your shoes to really key in on. You said the journey's not done. Like, yeah, maybe I've accomplished some things, but there's still more things to do, right? The fact
Every
that you
day.
wake up every day with that motivation. I think some people have it in their mind, like, once I get here, you know, whether that's getting to reaching a goal or making a certain amount of sales or making a certain amount of money or opening up your own business, now it's easy street. And the reality is, no, you have to continue to progress as you're going on this journey. You're worrying about the journey, not the destination.
well, even with business owners, they're like, oh, I want to start a business. They start a business. But how do you upscale?
Correct.
Or maintain?
Right.
Every day you have to be doing something different, right? Something new. You have to get new product. You have to get better product. Somebody else got that product. Now you have to upgrade, right?
Right.
Their prices went up. They have a package deal. What are you going to do? There's always something else to do. I just told my business partner, I said, in 3 years, I have accomplished a lot. You know, when I was growing up, I never thought about going out the country. Now I'm ready to move out the country. Like, send me to Bali, please. I'm ready to go. I don't even want to be in America. Send me anywhere. So it's like, yeah, I want to pay $500 a month for rent, you know, while somebody pays my rent and we're good.
You're good.
So, but I never thought about that. I never dreamed. I never tried different food, right? So I'm Italian, Spanish. We ate. That's what we ate.
Right.
We never really branched out. I didn't have sushi until I got out of prison. Right? That's my favorite food now. I never had that. So it's always expanding and finding something new, a new routine. I used to work out 4 to 5 times a day. I was a wellness instructor in prison. So that was my outlet to not fight, right? Somebody told me, work out. When you're mad, you want to fight, you're angry, work out. It works. I was like, all right, you're crazy. It works. It worked for me. So once I found that outlet, I was working out 4 to 5 times a day. I was a wellness instructor. I choreographed dance fitness. I did all these things. Being out here and working and running a business, I can't work out 4 to 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Right? You're lucky to get it in 1 time a day.
Right.
I have so many other things to do, but it's just always staying focused and having a goal, the next goal. Okay, if I can't work out every day, then I need to work out every other day. Right? So it's just, again, staying focused. I had to buy myself a dry erase board to put on my wall. I'm like, wait, am I going to Knucklehead Podcast today, tomorrow? I can't. Wait a minute, what's today? You know? So it becomes a lot.
Right.
So those that want to be a business owner, it doesn't get easier. It gets harder.
The real work starts.
It gets harder.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want to own a business. Oh, okay, now what?
What's your next move?
There's a lot more.
Yeah.
So I'm always thinking of my next move. I'm ready to start a podcast now.
There you go.
Amazing.
I can see you doing it.
Yeah, you got a great
I'm ready to start a
personality.
podcast.
I can see
love
you
that.
doing it.
So it's just, there's always something more, right?
Yeah. That's awesome.
So that being said, always something more.
Always.
2 years from now.
Where do I want to? In Bali. I want to be in Bali. I do not want to
What
be
he's
here.
done.
I woke up yesterday and I'm like, why do I live in America? My friend moved to Bali. Well, actually, one of my friends built a house in Bali. The other friend just moved to Bali. She's renting her house out and paying $500 a month. And I'm like, $500 a month? Clear waters? That's my life. Like, what am I? But no, 2 years from now, my goal is to own a home, because I've been renting, which I will tell you guys, I've never lived by myself, right? I was a teen mom, went to prison, jail, 19, lived with 71 women for 15 years, 12 years, 9 months, 13 days. Who's counting?
Yeah.
Came home and was roommating. So after my friend moved to Jacksonville, I was roommating. And I've been roommating up until, I don't know, 6 months ago. And I was like, I cannot roommate anymore. Okay, I'm 35 and I'm ready to live life.
Yeah.
I'm ready to wild out a little bit. No, I can't do this. Okay, I want to walk around my house however I want to walk around my house. No, seriously, it's a thing.
Yeah.
I've been surrounded by women for all this time, 71 women in a dorm. Now I've got 2 roommates. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So I got my own place and I wanted to buy a house. That was the goal. I'm just going to go buy a house. And then I'm like, wait, if something breaks, like I haven't lived by myself. I can't even hang a mirror up. I can do all this. I already had to change my own tail light.
Yeah.
What if I have to do something to toilets? I'm not ready to buy a house. That's a lot of maintenance.
That is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of maintenance. And people are so ready, but are you really ready, right? So I'm baby steps.
Right.
I'm renting and calling them for everything. And it works. It works.
Yeah.
So in 2 years, next year, I'm going to buy a house. I'm ready. I need a lawn man already. I'm thinking too far ahead.
You're really thinking about it.
Yeah, because that's another thing.
Yeah.
They mow my yard. I don't mow my yard.
Yeah.
So I want to own a home, and then my goal is to not clock in at anybody's job anymore. And I say that, yes, I own a business. Yes, I clean houses. Yes, I have a transition house. We have a nonprofit. but I still clock in. Yes, I have it made. I won't tell all of that, but like I do get to make my own schedule. I do get to travel. I get to take off. I do big events. It's great money.
Right.
It's like I'm not working.
Right.
I'm at a networking event every time I clock in.
You're working for you.
I'm working for me. Bartending has been the greatest job I could have done to make the money, to be stable.
Yeah.
However, you're still clocking in on somebody else's time.
Right.
I still think I'm making them rich. These people that come in here are paying these bills in this building. I want them to just pay my bills.
Right.
Right. And so that is a goal of mine. Self-made all the way around the board. I don't want to clock in anymore. Right now it's really hard because I have so many regulars that I see them every day. When I work, and I love them. I've gotten close with them. If I don't see them, I'm texting them. They're texting me.
Oh, that close.
They've become,
Family.
So like they're coming every day to see me, not just one or two. I'm having at the least 10 people come every time I clock in. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
To have that many regulars
That is big.
at a restaurant, you
Right.
don't see that.
Right.
So I just trained to be a trainer in Kissimmee, so I've already been moving up. But it's hard because they've become family. However, that is a goal. I don't want to clock in anymore and move to Bali.
Bali.
I hear you.
Successful cleaning business. Another goal we have, and we're hoping the end of this year, next year, is to have another transition house. Ours will be full next week. We'll be full. Well, June 2nd and then the 10th, we're full. 12 beds.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We started exactly a year ago.
Wow.
So our turnover rate has been phenomenal. So yeah, that's the goal. We want another house. There's one for sale across the street, but it's just too soon. We need some funding, grants. It's been great with donations, but to make it flourish how we see, we need that.
The grants and everything. So if you do grants or you know someone that does the grants, connect to her.
Yes.
Because you are impacting other people's lives. When we all come together, we can make a difference.
Yeah. It's your favorite line.
Yes.
I love that line. No, that's facts.
Yes, it is.
They, back in the day, they say it takes a village to raise a kid.
Right.
Well, it still takes one to raise a business.
Yeah. Oh man.
It
you ain't lying,
still
yeah.
takes one.
Yeah.
Like we still need a village. We all need to connect in some way.
Yeah.
So, drum roll, because I know it's coming.
No,
Okay.
it's all good. Everything with me is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you
Jeez.
see is what you
I
get.
don't even want to ask you no more questions. Go ahead, Quan.
Dang.
So
he passed the mic.
He did. Well, my last question. I always like to give thought-provoking questions. I like to see what decisions people make. So you work in the nonprofit space. So I'm really interested to hear your answer on this. So let's say tomorrow, right? You've accomplished all your goal. You've gotten all the money you've won. Obviously, you're a mom. You have a family, right? But you also help a lot of women. Like you just said, you have a transition house you're working on too. So obviously, this is a calling in your life, right? And a gift, I think, a lot of people. And we're going to do everything we can to help you share it. But if you had to make a decision, right, would you get all the money whatever number that is that you wanted to get, you got it. Would you donate it to a charitable donation to help more women like yourself? Because I see when you're telling your story, I feel like the person you are today and what you mean to these women is what you needed when you were growing up.
For sure.
Right? So.
And when I came home, when I was already grown.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't have it.
Exactly.
I did not. I had to go find it.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So would you donate that money more so to a charitable organization with your name to help these women, or would you leave it for your kids? I'm curious. Yeah. Uh-oh. Think
Okay.
about it.
So I'm just going to say this. I have a charitable already.
Yeah.
So I'm most definitely going to look out for Finish Wall ladies first. Love them. They
Okay.
already know. They are also my number one supporters.
Yeah.
My girls, they're serious. They mean business.
Yeah.
Would I still take some of that money and donate it? Absolutely.
Right.
Anytime I have the chance, I have homeless friends that I've made. I would give them anything. So all of it seems far-fetched.
All of it.
That's the only option?
Well,
You gotta pick
one or
your
the
children or your.
And we've heard different
Finish.
answers,
I
but
need
never
to phone a friend.
no answer
I
is
need to
ever
phone
the
my
same.
daughter and see what she says, because she might disown me. What the heck?
So what are you gonna do?
I don't know. I do not know. That's tough.
Yeah.
Call me tomorrow. I gotta sleep on this. I
So,
gotta pray about it.
My answer to that, because that was to me.
I've been gone from my kids 13 years.
So talk to me. I'm not even gonna answer what I was gonna say then. So what would you do?
I don't know.
So I said my son.
That's tough.
Because I feel like my son will follow suit, but on the other end, there's a lot of different foundations that you start, and we've all seen years when our parents, there was foundations, and now it's like, where the heck is this foundation at? I don't want that to happen, and then all that money just goes down to drain, or you have people that
tough.
creates a Ponzi scheme, and now so it's just,
That's tough. I think if
Yeah,
my
all these extra
Just not
elements to it.
yeah, like you went too far.
Yeah.
But
it makes sense though.
But it does make sense.
That is a point, yeah.
My daughter would not follow in my footsteps. She would help animals, not people.
Yeah.
She would probably save every dog in America. So that's not my passion. So we don't need her having
Some
any
dogs
of
help
it.
people.
We probably don't need any of it. She don't need $1,
Daughter,
okay?
I did not. That she's saying that.
No,
That's not
it's bad. That's me. It's bad. She worked for the Humane Society. I was like, Mom, I quit. They're killing dogs. I'm like, they put them to sleep there.
Right.
They do that. So, yeah, that's tough. That's tough. But I don't think I would have to split it. I don't know. There wouldn't be an option.
But no, that's
I would have
that's
to.
not a bad
Like,
answer.
I would have to give back, but I still have to give my kids. I'm doing all this for them.
Mm-hmm.
The end goal, 2 years. Yes, that goal, 5 years, 10 years. We should all have those goals. 2, 5, 10, 6 months.
Yeah.
But the end goal for me is for my kids to never go through what I went through. And so I tell them all the time, even though I'm not there, you're not here every single day, I am paving the way so that you don't have to go through this, right? Because I went through a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want them going, they already went through enough.
All right.
My daughter was there when they kicked in the door, so at 4.5. They've been through a lot.
Yeah.
So the goal is that at the end of it, right, what am I leaving behind? People are always like, oh, ask yourself. Well, I did. I actually sat to myself, what do you want people to say about you? What do you want your kids to say? Right? She made a way for me, no matter what. Even after prison, my mom got out here and made a way for me to not have to do the things she did. And 2 would be, she helped people. She created a legacy. She made a difference. Because you can have all the money in the world. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, she was rich. Who cares?
That's it. They'll forget that.
That's it. They're going to forget it because the next rich man is what they're idolizing.
Absolutely.
I don't want you to idolize me. I'm not here for that, right? The cameras are not for the fame, the fortune. It's not. It is to make a change. Somebody out there needs to hear there's hope. There's change, right? There's a girl out there who thinks she's stuck in a domestic violence. You're not. You can get out. There's a way, right? There's some girl out there who's dealing with, because statistics say 86% of women are in prison because of a man or behind a man. Whether it's number one, they're in there drugs with a man. They all have a co-defendant and it's a man. So with that, you only have a small number that are not. So even out here, that means before they made it to prison, they're out here dealing with that, right? Whether it's abuse. Also, I think it's 80 or 85% of women have dealt with sexual abuse in some form or fashion before they go to prison. They don't have to deal with that, right? There's a hotline to call. There's a way out. I don't care. You run until you don't run no more. You better get like J-Lo, right? Owning up and go. For real. Yeah. There's a way out. So if we can be the person to stop that for one lady, we're already making a change.
Absolutely. I love that.
So leaving that behind for my kids is what matters.
That's deep. Where can they find you?
Who's they? Everybody?
The world. Where can they find you?
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the platforms, YouTube. Angela Nicolazzi. I kept it real easy. My first and last name on all platforms. And then you'll see me there.
Oh my goodness.
And then you'll see me there.
Yeah, I love that. I love
Looking
that.
and feeling the best I ever have, actually.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
that. Well, I commend you. I think you're doing a phenomenal job,
Absolutely.
and for you to take the time out. I know you got a busy schedule too, so we appreciate you stopping by the show and hanging out with us.
Flying on in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys.
Your story is definitely something that's inspiring for those individuals that need it. Even those that I feel like that haven't gone down your road, being able to overcome hurdles is huge. So to see someone else's path, knowing that you can get over yours, there's no right or wrong or whatever. So
For sure. I meet people every day that's never lived this lifestyle.
at all.
I work downtown. They're
Yeah.
uppity, but they're going through something.
through hell.
Right? They're going through divorce. They're unhappy. They're taking life for granted. And so even sowing that seed, like, I don't take one day for granted. I live every day. I will no longer just exist in this world.
Yeah.
People exist for
Right.
40 years.
And just be
Never
there.
did anything. Never just sat and watched the sunset.
Yeah.
Never said, you know what, there's this new restaurant. I want to go try it. They don't do that.
Yeah.
So even feeding those people, like you said, that haven't been in prison
All right.
or won't go to prison, but they need hope.
Right.
Yeah.
They need hope. Life is precious and people take it for granted.
Yeah.
100%.
Agree.
Well, this is the Knucklehead Podcast, where once again we show those 99%ers, no matter what you do, what you've gone through, or where you at in your life, you can transition over to a point in life where you can be a part of that 1%. Matter of fact, let's scratch that. You can take the 1% to make it 2 to 3%. And when you start doing that, you're changing the lives of not just yours, but your loved ones and their loved ones and their loved ones. So if we can make a difference, we can just be like our lovely Angela.
I thought it was Angie.
I like Angela now.
Oh, okay.
And change the world. See how she just threw it off? Knucklehead Podcast. There we go.
All right.